Hi everybody, we're here again, that Friday feeling, very excited. Week 17. I've had this one going through my head quite a bit recently, trying to work out what to do. I've got a plan in my head, don't know if it'll work, I've not tried it out, but we're just going to go for it. So one of the things that I would like you to do this week is I would like you to have a look at all your tags and just have a look the sorts of colours that you've used. And I've noticed with a lot of mine I tend to go for blues and natural colours. So what I'm going to challenge you with this week, now for some of you it'll work, for some of you it won't. So if you notice a colour that you've not really used, I'd like you to use that. So one of the things that I'd noticed that I don't use very often is red. So I'm going to go with red. If you've used loads and loads of different colours, then just choose your favourite colour, a colour that you want to work in, or a colour that you've got fabrics in and threads and things like that. I'm going to work a little bit differently this week because we are actually going to work on a hoop to create our tag. Okay, so it's a couching technique, but we're going to couch down fabrics in a particular way. It could be that partway through this I decide it's not working and we go for something totally and utterly different. So we shall see where we get to. So what I've done is I have placed a backing fabric, I've got a cotton, into my hoop. I've placed my tag on and I've drawn round it with a vanishing pen. This is an aqua marker. You don't have to use that. You could use a pen or a pencil, anything, because we are going to cut this out so you're not going to see that at all. Okay, so we've got that. Then collect together your materials. I find it actually quite interesting doing this because I don't have a lot of red stuff. I've got a big piece of red because I was going to make cushions and I never actually did. So I've got, that's my backing fabric. I've got some pieces of vintage French fabrics. I've got a bit, I cut shapes out. So even if you haven't got red fabric, oh, I've got a cat that's just come in. You can cut out sections of your fabric. It could have other colours on there as well, but that's quite sweet. I've got one there. I've gone a bit pinky, but there's a bit of red, and then I've got a bit of Yorkshire tweed as well. So those are all my colours that I have got. I'm just going to move the cat. Come on, Durrell. There we go. Say hello to everybody. Say hello. This is Durrell. Right, out you go. Come on. Off you go. Right out. Keep going. Mind your tail. Thank you. They're not meant to come in here because if I don't put the door properly on the catch, they've worked out how to get in and then they climb up on the wardrobes and just knock things off, which is quite annoying. Okay, right, I've got to get my head around what we're doing. Get yourself some different coloured thread, so shades of your colour. So I started off with pink, but then when I was rooting through a cupboard I did actually find some red threads. These ones are all single stranded, either cottons or perlés, but you can use your DMCs, linen threads, absolutely anything at all. As usual, I've got my needles all threaded up, ready to go. Okay, so what we need to do, she says, making this up as we're going along, we'll start with this one. You're going to cut yourself some bits of fabric that are going to be the length that you want your bits to be. And you want to cut them between like 1 centimetre and 2 centimetres wide. Okay. Right, so to start off, I need to trim a little bit off that. So I've marked where the top of my tag is because obviously I'm not going to go right into the curly bit. So I need it so that obviously when we cut it out it's going to fit onto my tag. Okay, what we're then going to do is we're going to roll this 1, 2, 3, roll it, place it on, and then just pop a pin in to keep it straight. A bit fiddly. So I'm starting in the middle. Okay, so I've placed that on. I've rolled it up, just pull that, so I've got a little roll there of my fabric. So I'm going to take one of my threads, go for a nice bright red, and I'm going to couch it down. So starting at the top, so couching is just trapping. So I'm not going through the fabric, I'm just coming up one side, then over and down the other side. And we can start building up little patterns. So I could do double stitches with this one. This one in the middle. Oops. Decided to create a knot. That's a nice start to the day. There we go. Back down. And then just move a little bit further up. So I'm just coming up one side. I'm sorry the camera keeps going out of focus and back in focus again. I'm using a different, oh, it's doing it loads. Okay, it stopped. I'm using a different videoing program. On the last one I could fix the focus, but I don't seem to be able to fix the focus on this one, so I apologise if it's going in and out of focus. I'll try and keep my hands on the same level. So I'm doing another double stitch. Move along a bit. So in the middle I might decide to do a triple. That's just one. So couching really just means to catch. I can take the pins out and it's going to hold it in place. So you could do all sorts with this. I was trying to find somewhere I know that I have some sari silk that's bright red. And I know that I have it because when I was tidying up I found it. It might actually be in the cupboard. I might have a look in a second. I've seen this done as well where people couch down actual twigs and plants and things. I didn't think that really was suitable for this because it's going in the tags and they're all on top of each other. I didn't think it'd be ideal to do that. The backing fabric I've chosen has got a little bit of red on it because I thought I didn't know whether or not it was going to get seen. So I just thought it'd be quite good to do a colour that fitted, just in case you could see the actual backing. Just pull the thread through. There we go. So hopefully you can see. Just pull that down a little bit, see if we can get a bit closer. So I've done just couching. I'm just going from one side to the other with the fabric. So again, it's a really, really simple technique, but I'm hoping, because I've got an idea in my head of what this was going to look like, that it'll end up building up some really, really nice textures. Okay, so we've got our first one couched down. So then just on the back, if you just go through a couple of your threads, create a loop, not a knot, we're going to make a knot. Decided to create a knot. There we go. Come on, out you come. You don't want to be a knot. Knot. Oh, it started fraying. Not ideal. Okay, let's pull that through. Come on, come underneath. Lift that up. Oh, there you go. Right, so I can bring that just through there and make my knot and then tie that off. Okay, so there's number one. I'm going to have a look because I've just had one of those like moments when you think, I think I know where those threads are. Oh, look, I was going to go in the wardrobe, but no, they're actually on the worktop. Okay, so I've got my sari threads. So I was going to play around with these as well, because these are just yummy. Okay, So just bring in just a gorgeous, gorgeous texture. Okay, I'll take my pin out. There we go. Okay, I'm going to do a double. So again, just measure it, go the thicker end, measure, just trim. Then you're going to lay it right down next to the one that you've just put in. Okay, choose another colour. So actually I'm going to go for a lighter colour. And again, we're doing exactly the same thing. So we're just going to couch it down. So you're going now down, your needle is going between your two pieces. So just couch down that edge. This time I might not put as many stitches in. But what you can do now, as you're beginning to build this up, don't come out. Go on, back in. You know you want to go in there. Thank you. Let's pull that again. Right, okay. So now, one of the things that you can do is when you've gone over one of your shapes, the colour, if you're using a different colour to what you've just used before, oops, you can then bring that over the fabric that you've done. So you sort of add in another colour into that one as well. Okay. So I'm going to go up and couch this one down. And you're working from the inside out. You could work from left to right, I suppose, but I just wanted to work from the inside out because then I can sort of manage my colour combinations and go from darks to lights, try different types of fabric. You don't have to have your stitches really close together. You can spread them out because when I start adding other ones here I can come back in and add that colour in. So I'm going to go back over my first one. Okay, so just beginning to build this up. We're just keeping it in straight lines, but see, I've just started thinking now, there's actually no reason why you couldn't have done a curve to start off with. Whatever line you want to do. I just kept mine straight because in my head that's what I'd got as my plan. But now I'm beginning to think, oh, it'd be quite nice to do a swirly one. I might do a swirly one using the same technique as an additional tag. So if I do that, I'll pop some photos on at the end of the video of each stage just so you can sort of see the difference between the two, but I'll still stick with the same colours. Okay, so there we go. So I've got all that couched down. Hopefully you can see that. Sorry the video keeps going blurred and not. I'm learning as I'm going along with the videoing, and it's definitely been a massive learning curve. Thank you to people that keep sending me hints and tips. I'm not an expert at this by any means, and I'm sure that there is an easier way of doing it. I suppose I could go back to what I was doing before, which was just my hands and not my face. But I quite like looking up and actually, even though it's me looking back at me, which isn't always the best thing, it's just quite nice thinking that there is somebody else there stitching at the same time, even though it is stitching with myself. Okay, so we've done that one. So I'm going to save my other bit of Sari for another. I want a lighter colour. So I'm going to have a look at this green. I'll just pop in a different colour. So again, about a couple of centimetres wide. A little bit of fabric. Obviously, if your fabrics are thinner, you might need more. to make your little sausages. Just straighten that up. Okay, so the same thing. Try and wrap it as tightly as you can. So I'm going to do this one slightly differently now because I've got my pieces pinned in. When I've actually wrapped this up, what I'm going to do is just pop a pin in my little sausage. Okay, there we go. And then that's going to lay next to the one that I've just done. And again, pick up a colour. I'm going to go for a different shade of red. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to double my thread. Ooh, variations, it's all very, very exciting. So I'm going to do a double thread. It's quite nice if you can use a variety of different threads when you're doing any of these. Obviously it depends on what you've got hold of at the time. Place that, and I've got a little furry bit there, a little frayed bit, that's quite cute. So get my first stitch in place. That'll just hold it. So I'm going double thread this time. There we go. Okay, so that's just got it in place, and then I can work my way down, either going from the inside or from the outside. There we go. And again, like we've done before, you can take this over your other threads, so I add that to that one, come back over and pop it over my sari silk. So if you just move your fabric across and get your needle just underneath it, it'll just keep everything really nice and tight next to each other. Okay, pins out. Don't worry if you end up leaving gaps, because like I've been doing, you can then go back in and add other colours. So I might pop a little pinky one over the sari, and then come back over this one. Just move it in a little bit. There we go. Pin out. Just tuck that in. Don't worry if it sort of scrunches it up. It's like pulling it a little bit tighter. I've created like a little pleat, but I'm looking for creating textures anyway, so I'm not worried about that at all. So I've got a little bit of spare thread. Pop it over this one. Just pull that in. Another one there. It's quite therapeutic, this. Okay, so we've got 3 now, all stitched in. And you basically just keep going. With a bit of fabric, a bit of thread, stitch it on, and then move on to the next one. So we've got another knot. There we go. Might go sari thread again. What did I do with that? It was here. There it is. So just got a light one and another little pop of colour. It's just going to go there. So we're just going to slowly build that up all the way along and all the way that way. I've just used straight stitches, but I was just thinking then actually these could be crosses, There's all sorts of different variations that you could do with this particular tag, and I'm quite enjoying doing it, so I might make a few different versions of this, and I'll put photos of each one. I'll take pictures as I do it so that you can see, but the basic principle is to take a little bit of fabric, roll it up, lay it down and couch it on, and you're going to build it to the outside of your tag shape. Then when it's all done and it's all fastened down, you'll be able to trim that out and then stitch it onto your tag, and that'll be week 17 done. So hopefully you'll enjoy that one. I'm excited to see what people do. Please hang on and have a look at the photos at the end, because I think today this is going to be my chill day challenge of just playing around with loads of different shapes and patterns. I'm quite excited about this. I always love it when I've had an idea in my head and it sort of works. Yeah, so that's me for today. I hope you're all well. I hope everybody's safe. You're enjoying the weather. Hopefully it's nice wherever you are. And I will see you again next week. Remember to subscribe. It's free. It helps me keep doing all my tutorials and keeping them on YouTube. Fantastic to see what everybody's doing. Keep tagging me in, and I will see you soon. Mwah. Love and hugs.